The moment their eyes met, Maya felt something she had never experienced before. It wasn't scary, but it was intense, like the girl was looking directly into her soul. The purple eyes seemed to understand everything about Maya in that single glance. Maya tried to speak, but no words came out at first. "Hi," Maya finally whispered, not wanting to startle her mysterious guest. "How are you feeling?" The girl tilted her head slightly, like a curious bird studying something interesting. She opened her mouth as if to speak, but instead of words, she made a soft sound that was almost musical. It was beautiful, but definitely not any language Maya had ever heard. Maya tried again, speaking slowly and clearly. "My name is Maya. Can you understand me?" This time, the girl nodded once, very deliberately. Her expression brightened, and she pointed to herself, then made another series of musical sounds. Maya realized she was trying to say her own name, but Maya's ears couldn't quite catch the right pronunciation. "I'm going to call you Luna," Maya said gently, pointing to the girl. "Is that okay with you?" Luna seemed to consider this for a moment, then smiled for the first time. It was the most radiant smile Maya had ever seen, lighting up her entire face. Luna nodded enthusiastically and pointed to Maya, then to herself, as if practicing their names. Maya felt relieved. At least they could communicate on a basic level, even if Luna couldn't speak English. Maya went to her closet and pulled out some clothes that might fit Luna. She brought back a brand new sweater she had bought but never worn, some comfortable jeans that were too small for her, and a few t-shirts with tags still on them. Luna looked at the clothes with what Maya could only describe as confusion and distress. She touched the new sweater very carefully, as if it might hurt her, then quickly pulled her hand away. She shook her head firmly and made a sound that was clearly no in any language. Maya was puzzled. The clothes were clean and should fit Luna perfectly. Maybe she didn't like the colors? Maya went back to her room and brought different options, including some expensive blouses she had been saving for special occasions. But Luna rejected everything. She seemed to get more upset with each new item Maya showed her. Finally, Maya sat down on the floor, feeling frustrated and worried. What was she supposed to do if Luna wouldn't wear any clothes? Then Maya remembered the jacket she had wrapped around Luna in the woods. It was still draped over the back of a chair where Maya had left it after bringing Luna inside. Without much hope, Maya picked up the old, worn jacket and offered it to Luna. The change in Luna's behavior was immediate and dramatic. Her eyes lit up, and she reached for the jacket with both hands, holding it close to her face and breathing. And deeply, she looked at Maya with such gratitude and joy that Maya felt tears forming in her own eyes. Luna put the jacket on carefully, like she was handling something precious. She zipped it up and smiled that brilliant smile again, then looked at Maya expectantly, as if asking for more clothes like this one. Maya began to understand. Luna didn't want new clothes. She wanted Maya's clothes, the ones that had been worn and lived in. Maya went back to her laundry basket and pulled out an old t-shirt that was soft from many washes, with a small stain from when she had spilled coffee on it months ago. Luna's reaction was the same. She accepted the shirt eagerly, examining every thread, every faded spot, every stretched seam like she was reading a story. Maya watched in amazement as Luna held the shirt up to the light, studying it from different angles. Over the next few hours, Maya experimented with different pieces from her wardrobe. Luna consistently chose the oldest, most worn items and rejected anything new or barely used. She seemed particularly drawn to clothes that Maya had worn during important moments, though Maya couldn't figure out how Luna could possibly know which clothes those were. The faded jeans Maya had worn while painting her kitchen walls became Luna's favorites. She ran her fingers over the paint splatters like they were decorative patterns. An old sweater that still carried a hint of Maya's perfume made Luna close her eyes and smile peacefully when she put it on. Maya started to notice something else strange about Luna's behavior. When she wore Maya's clothes, Luna would sometimes make gestures that reminded Maya of her own habits. She would adjust the sleeves the same way Maya did, or put her hands in the pockets exactly like Maya always did with that particular pair of jeans. It was as if Luna wasn't just wearing the clothes, but somehow absorbing Maya's memories and movements that were connected to them. Maya found this both fascinating and slightly unsettling, but Luna seemed so happy and comfortable in the worn clothes that Maya decided not to worry about it. Communication between them began to develop in unexpected ways. Luna was incredibly expressive with her face and hands. She could convey complex ideas through gestures, expressions, and the musical sounds she made. Maya found herself understanding Luna better each day, even though they shared no common language. When Luna was hungry, she would pat her stomach and point to the kitchen. When she was tired, she would yawn dramatically and point to the couch. When she wanted to show Maya something, she would take Maya's hand and lead her to whatever had caught her attention. Maya also noticed that Luna seemed to understand English perfectly. Even though she couldn't speak it, she would follow Maya's instructions, not at the right moments during conversations, and even laugh at Maya's jokes. It was only the speaking part that seemed impossible for her. The most surprising thing was how naturally Luna fit into Maya's daily routine. She would sit quietly while Maya worked, sometimes bringing her tea or snacks without being asked. She seemed to understand that Maya needed quiet time to concentrate on her computer projects. In the evenings, Luna would curl up on the couch wearing Maya's most comfortable clothes, watching movies even though she probably didn't understand all the dialogue. She seemed to enjoy the visual storytelling and would gasp or clap at exciting moments, making Maya laugh. Maya realized that having Luna there made her house feel more like a home than it had in years. The quiet loneliness she hadn't even noticed before was completely gone. Luna brought a sense of wonder and joy into Maya's ordinary life that she had never experienced. But Maya also knew this arrangement couldn't continue forever without some kind of plan. Luna would need proper documentation, medical care, and a way to exist in the outside world. The problem was that Luna's unusual preferences and mysterious background would make integration into normal society very difficult. For now, though, Maya was content to take things one day at a time. Luna seemed happy and healthy, and their strange friendship was growing stronger each day. Maya had never imagined that someone who couldn't speak her language could understand her so completely, or that sharing her old clothes could feel like sharing pieces of her own life story. 3 weeks had passed since Luna arrived in Maya's life, and their daily routine had settled into something comfortable and strange. Maya was beginning to understand that Luna's connection to her clothes went deeper than simple preference. It was almost like Luna could read the history woven into each piece of fabric. Maya first noticed this when Luna chose the dress Maya had worn to her college graduation. It was a simple blue dress that had been hanging in the back of her closet for years. When Luna put it on, she stood very straight and tall, with her shoulders back and head high, exactly the way Maya had stood when receiving her diploma. Luna had never seen photos of that day, yet somehow she knew how important that dress was. The realization hit Maya like lightning. Luna wasn't just wearing her clothes randomly. She was somehow experiencing the emotions and memories attached to them. It sounded impossible, but Maya couldn't ignore what she was seeing with her own eyes. To test her theory, Maya decided to tell Luna the story behind the graduation dress. She sat on her bed and patted the spot next to her. Luna came over immediately, settling cross-legged beside Maya like they had done this 100 times before. This dress, Maya began, touching the fabric gently. I wore it on one of the most important days of my life. I was 22, and I had just finished 4 years of college. I was so nervous that morning, but also excited and proud. Luna listened intently. Her unusual purple eyes focused on Maya's face. Even though Maya was speaking in English, Luna seemed to understand every word and emotion. My parents were in the audience, Maya continued, and when they called my name, I walked across that stage feeling like I could do anything in the world. I felt strong and confident and ready for whatever came next. As Maya spoke, Luna's expression changed. Her eyes grew brighter, and she sat up straighter, as if she was experiencing those same feelings of pride and accomplishment. When Maya finished the story, Luna stood up and walked to the mirror, looking at herself in the graduation dress with a sense of wonder. Luna turned back to Maya and began making her musical sounds. But this time they were different, more complex, more emotional. She gestured to the dress, then to Maya, then to herself, as if trying to explain something important. Maya felt like Luna was saying, "I can feel what you felt. I can see your memories in these clothes." This discovery changed everything about how Maya viewed the relationship. Luna wasn't just her mysterious house guest anymore. She was someone who could experience Maya's life through the things she had worn. During important moments, Maya began deliberately sharing stories about different pieces in her wardrobe. The old sweater she had worn during her first job interview, the jeans she had been wearing when she got the call, about her grandmother passing away, the lucky t-shirt she always wore when she was working on difficult projects. With each story, Luna's responses became more animated and expressive. She would nod when Maya described happy memories and look sad when Maya talked about difficult times. It was as if Luna was living through these experiences alongside Maya, feeling echoes of emotions from years past. Maya also noticed that Luna was starting to add her own experiences to the clothes. After Luna had worn Maya's favorite pajamas for several nights, Maya put them on and felt unusually peaceful and content. The anxiety she normally felt at bedtime was replaced with a sense of calm that wasn't entirely her own. One evening, Maya decided to share one of her most difficult memories. She pulled out the old sweatshirt she had worn during her divorce proceedings 2 years earlier. It was gray and oversized, the kind of clothes you wear when you want to disappear. "This sweatshirt," Maya said quietly, "I wore it during the worst time in my life. My marriage was ending, and I felt like a complete failure. I cried into this fabric so many times that I'm surprised it didn't fall apart." Luna took the sweatshirt very carefully, holding it like something fragile. Instead of putting it on immediately, she sat down and pulled Maya close to her. For the first time since arriving, Luna tried to speak actual words. Sorry. Luna whispered in a voice like soft music. "So, sorry." Maya felt tears starting to fall. Luna had understood not just the sadness connected to that sweatshirt, but also Maya's need for comfort about that difficult time. Luna wrapped the sweatshirt around both of their shoulders, turning it into a shared blanket rather than something Maya had to face alone. They sat together in comfortable silence for a long time. Maya realized that Luna had somehow taken the sadness out of that sweatshirt and replaced it with friendship and understanding. When Maya wore it again later that week, instead of remembering her divorce, she remembered the evening when Luna had comforted her. Maya began to understand that Luna's species, wherever they came from, might experience the world very differently from humans, while people remembered events in their minds. Luna seemed to remember them through objects, especially clothing that had absorbed emotions over time. This explained why Luna had been so distressed by new clothes. To her, they were blank and empty, like books with no words written in them. Maya's worn clothes, on the other hand, were full of stories, emotions, and experiences that Luna could read and understand. Maya started choosing her daily outfits more thoughtfully, knowing that Luna would eventually inherit not just the clothes but all the feelings and memories she created while wearing them. She wanted to make sure she was filling her wardrobe with positive experiences for Luna to discover later. Their communication also evolved beyond basic gestures. Luna developed a way of combining her musical sounds with movements that could convey complex ideas. Maya learned to recognize different tones for different emotions and situations. When Luna was happy, her sounds were light and playful, like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. When she was curious about something, the sounds became questioning and rising, like someone asking, "Really?" Without words. When she was content, she would hum soft, low notes that made Maya feel peaceful just listening to them. Maya also discovered that Luna was incredibly intuitive about her moods and needs. On days when Maya was stressed about work deadlines, Luna would appear with exactly the right snack or drink without being asked. When Maya was feeling lonely or sad, Luna would find ways to make her laugh or would simply sit close by, offering silent support. Their friendship had become something Maya had never experienced before. It was deeper than language, more intimate than normal conversation. Luna knew Maya's history through her clothes, and Maya was learning about Luna's gentle, caring nature through her daily actions. But as comfortable as their life together had become, Maya knew they couldn't stay hidden forever. Luna would eventually need to interact with the outside world, and Maya had no idea how that would work when Luna insisted on wearing only Maya's used clothes and could barely speak a few words of English. The thought of taking Luna out into public filled Maya with worry, but she also knew that keeping Luna isolated in her house wasn't a permanent solution. Sooner or later, they would have to figure out how to help Luna exist in human society while respecting her unique needs and abilities. The day Maya had been dreading finally arrived when Luna developed a fever that wouldn't break. For 3 days, Luna had been unusually quiet and tired, spending most of her time sleeping on the couch wrapped in Maya's softest clothes. When Maya touched Luna's forehead on the 4th morning, her skin was burning hot. Maya knew she couldn't handle this alone anymore. Luna needed medical attention, but the thought of taking her to a hospital terrified Maya. How could she explain Luna's unusual appearance, her inability to speak English, or her strange insistence on wearing only Maya's old clothes? Maya spent the morning pacing around her house, trying to figure out what to do. Luna was getting worse, and waiting any longer could be dangerous. Finally, Maya made the difficult decision to take Luna to a small clinic outside of town where she hoped they might get more privacy and fewer questions. Getting Luna ready for the trip was challenging. Luna was too weak to stand for long, but she still refused to wear anything except Maya's clothes. Maya chose her most normal-looking outfit, plain jeans, a simple black sweater, and comfortable shoes. To anyone else, Luna would just look like a young woman with unusual hair and eye color. The drive to the clinic was nerve-wracking. Luna sat quietly in the passenger seat, occasionally making soft musical sounds when the fever made her uncomfortable. Maya kept glancing over at her, worried about how pale she looked and hoping they wouldn't encounter any complications. At the clinic, Maya helped Luna walk to the reception desk. The nurse looked up with a routine smile that quickly changed to curiosity when she saw Luna's distinctive appearance. Maya had prepared a story about Luna being her cousin from overseas who didn't speak much English. She's been running a fever for several days, Maya explained, trying to sound calm. I'm worried because it's not responding to normal medicine. The nurse nodded professionally and handed Maya some paperwork to fill out. Maya had spent the drive inventing a background story for Luna, complete with a fake last name and birth date. She felt terrible about lying, but she didn't know what else to do. When they were called into the examination room, Maya stayed close to Luna, translating the doctor's questions even though she suspected Luna understood everything perfectly. The doctor was kind and professional, but Maya could see her confusion when she checked Luna's temperature and pulse. Her vital signs are quite unusual, the doctor said carefully. Her body temperature is much higher than normal, but she doesn't seem to be in distress, and her pulse rate is very slow for someone with a fever this high. Maya's heart started racing. She had been afraid something like this would happen. Luna's body clearly worked differently from humans, and medical tests would reveal that difference. Is she in danger? Maya asked, trying to keep the panic out of her voice. I'm not sure, the doctor admitted. I'd like to run some blood tests and maybe get some x-rays, just to be safe. Has she ever had any unusual medical conditions or reactions to medication? Maya looked at Luna, who was sitting quietly on the examination table, her purple eyes alert. Despite the fever, Luna gave Maya a tiny nod, as if encouraging her to trust the doctor. She's always been different, Maya said honestly, very sensitive to medications and prone to unusual reactions. We try to avoid most treatments unless absolutely necessary. The doctor nodded thoughtfully. Some people do have rare genetic conditions that affect how their bodies respond to illness. Let me try a very mild antibiotic and see how she reacts. We'll monitor her closely. Over the next few hours, Maya watched anxiously as the medical staff ran various tests. Luna remained calm and cooperative, following instructions even when she clearly didn't understand why certain procedures were necessary. Maya was amazed by how brave Luna was, facing all these strange experiences without fear. The blood tests came back with results that made the doctor frown and run them again. Luna's blood chemistry was unlike anything in the medical textbooks, but she didn't seem sick in any traditional sense. Her fever was high but stable, and all her other functions appeared normal, just different. I've never seen results quite like these, the doctor told Maya privately, but she's not getting worse, and the antibiotic seems to be helping slightly. I think we can manage this as an outpatient case, but I want to see her back in a few days. Maya felt relieved but also worried about future medical encounters. Luna's differences were becoming impossible to hide, and Maya didn't know how long they could maintain the fiction that Luna was just an unusual human. The trip home was easier than the trip to the clinic. Luna seemed more alert, and the medication was clearly helping with her fever. But Maya realized this experience had changed something fundamental about their situation. They could no longer live in complete isolation. Over the next week, as Luna recovered, Maya began thinking seriously about their future. Luna would need some kind of official identity if she was going to continue living in human society. She would need documentation, a social security number, and a believable background story. Maya also realized that Luna's wardrobe situation was becoming impractical. Maya only owned so many clothes, and Luna's exclusive preference for worn items meant Maya was constantly doing laundry. Maya had tried buying duplicates of her favorite pieces, but Luna always knew the difference between original clothes with emotional history and new copies without memories. The solution came to Maya unexpectedly when she was sorting through old boxes in her closet. She found clothes from different periods of her life that she had stored away, outfits from college, work clothes from her first job, even some items from high school that she had kept for sentimental reasons. When Maya showed these forgotten clothes to Luna, her reaction was incredible. Luna examined each piece like she was reading a book, experiencing memories that Maya had almost forgotten. The sweater Maya wore during her first college presentation brought back Luna's version of nervousness and excitement. The dress from Maya's first date made Luna blush and smile in a way that was both innocent and knowing. Maya realized that Luna wasn't just experiencing her recent memories through clothes. She could access the entire emotional history embedded in fabric, no matter how old the garments were. This gave them a much larger wardrobe to work with and helped Maya understand the true depth of Luna's abilities. As Luna's health improved, Maya noticed that she was becoming more adventurous about trying new things. Luna had learned to help with cooking, though she had very different ideas about which foods tasted good together. She enjoyed watching Maya work on her computer projects, sometimes pointing out color combinations or design elements that made Maya's work better. Most surprisingly, Luna had begun attempting more English words. Her pronunciation was still musical and strange, but Maya could understand most of what she was trying to say. Luna seemed particularly good at learning words related to emotions and feelings, as if those concepts were more important to her than practical vocabulary. But even as their daily life became more comfortable, Maya knew they were living on borrowed time. Luna's unusual appearance and behavior would eventually attract attention from neighbors, authorities, or medical professionals who might ask questions Maya couldn't answer. Maya began researching ways to create legal documentation for someone without a verifiable background. She learned about immigration lawyers, social workers, and organizations that helped people who had fallen through the cracks of society. It was risky, but Maya was determined to find a way to give Luna a legitimate place in the world. The hardest part was that Maya still didn't know where Luna had come from, or whether she had any desire to return there. The strange object in the woods had disappeared completely, leaving no trace of Luna's origins. Maya sometimes wondered if Luna was stranded on Earth permanently or if she was choosing to stay. Either way, Maya was committed to helping Luna build a life here. Their friendship had become the most important thing in Maya's world, and she couldn't imagine going back to her quiet, lonely existence. Luna had brought wonder, joy, and purpose into Maya's life in ways she never expected. But as Maya looked toward the future, she knew their biggest challenges were still ahead of them. 6 months after finding Luna in the woods, Maya discovered something that changed everything she thought she knew about their connection. She was cleaning out her childhood bedroom at her parents' house when she found her old diary from when she was 12 years old. Flipping through the pages brought back memories of being a lonely kid who spent most of her time reading science fiction books and dreaming about adventures. But when Maya reached the entries from summer vacation, she stopped breathing for a moment. Page after page described the same recurring dream Maya had experienced that entire summer. In the dream, a girl with silver hair and purple eyes would visit Maya from among the stars. The dream girl never spoke, but she understood everything Maya felt. Most importantly, the dream girl would borrow Maya's clothes because she said they helped her understand what it meant to be human. Maya had written about this dream dozens of times, describing how real it felt and how much she looked forward to sleeping so she could see the star girl again. 12-year-old Maya had been convinced that somewhere in the universe, this girl really existed and that someday they would meet. Reading these entries as an adult, Maya felt chills running down her spine. The girl from her childhood dreams matched Luna's description perfectly, down to details Maya had forgotten until reading her own words again. Maya drove home in a daze, the diary clutched in her hands. When she walked into her house, Luna took one look at Maya's expression and knew something important had happened. Luna approached carefully, making questioning sounds. Maya sat down on the couch and opened the diary to the summer entries. Luna leaned over to look at the pages, even though she couldn't read English letters. But as Maya read the dream descriptions aloud, Luna's purple eyes grew wide with recognition. When Maya finished reading, Luna was quiet for a long moment. Then she stood up and walked to Maya's bookshelf, pulling down a photo album Maya had forgotten was there. Luna flipped through the pages until she found pictures of 12-year-old Maya. Pointing to them with excitement, Luna began making her musical sounds. But this time they were different from anything Maya had heard before. More complex, more emotional, almost like she was trying to sing a song that human ears couldn't quite understand. Maya realized Luna was trying to tell her that she remembered the dreams too, somehow. Across space and time, Luna had been connecting with Maya since childhood, preparing for the day when they would finally meet in person. "You were looking for me," Maya whispered, and Luna nodded enthusiastically. This revelation explained so much about Luna's arrival. It hadn't been a random crash landing or accident. Luna had somehow tracked down the specific person she had been dreaming about for years. Maya was the reason Luna had come to Earth. Over the following weeks, Maya and Luna developed new ways to share their memories of those childhood dreams. Luna would wear Maya's oldest clothes, pieces that went back to her teenage years, and somehow access even older emotional imprints. Through this process, Luna could show Maya glimpses of her own memories from her home among the stars. Maya learned that Luna's people didn't experience emotion the way humans did. They lived very logical, peaceful lives without the intense feelings that made human existence so complicated and beautiful. Luna had been different from her own kind, drawn to the emotional richness she sensed in Maya's dreams. When Luna had finally become old enough to travel between worlds, she had chosen to leave everything she knew to find the human girl who had been sharing dreams with her. The journey had been long and dangerous, and Luna had no way to return home even if she wanted to. Maya felt overwhelmed by the sacrifice Luna had made. She had given up her entire world, her family, her people, everything familiar, just to meet Maya and experience human emotion through their connection. "Why?" Maya asked one evening as they sat together watching the sunset. "Why give up everything for someone you had never really met?" Luna struggled to find English words for such a complex answer. Finally, she took Maya's hands and pressed them to her own heart, then to Maya's heart. She made soft sounds that Maya somehow understood meant home. Luna had come to Earth because Maya felt like home to her, even from across the universe. The dreams had shown Luna that humans experience life with an intensity and depth that her own people had never developed. Through Maya's emotions embedded in dream-shared clothing, Luna had learned what it meant to feel joy, sadness, love, and hope. Maya began to understand that Luna's fascination with her clothes wasn't just about reading memories. It was about learning how to feel the full range of human emotions that Luna's species had never experienced. Every piece of clothing Maya had worn during important moments became a teacher for Luna, showing her how to process feelings that were completely foreign to her people. This explained why Luna was so intuitive about Maya's moods and needs. She had been studying Maya's emotional patterns through dreams for years before they met. Luna knew Maya better than Maya knew herself in some ways. As this understanding deepened their relationship, Maya realized that Luna was also changing her. Living with someone who experienced emotions with such wonder and intensity made Maya appreciate feelings she had taken for granted. Luna's joy at simple things like warm cookies or soft blankets reminded Maya to notice the small pleasures in daily life. Maya also discovered that she was developing some of Luna's abilities. After months of sharing clothes and experiences, Maya could sometimes sense emotional imprints on objects that didn't belong to her. Old furniture in antique stores would give her flashes of the feelings their previous owners had experienced. Books in libraries carried traces of the emotions their readers had felt. While turning the pages, Luna was teaching Maya to experience the world in a completely new way, just as Maya was teaching Luna what it meant to be human. They were creating something together that neither of their species had ever experienced before, a truly shared emotional consciousness. But Maya also understood now that Luna could never return to her old life. Her people would not understand the changes that living with human emotions had created in her. Luna had transformed herself permanently to be able to connect with Maya, and there was no going back. This knowledge made Maya even more determined to create a good life for Luna on Earth. Luna had sacrificed everything to be here, and Maya wanted to make sure that sacrifice led to happiness and fulfillment. Maya began making long-term plans for their future together. She researched ways to get Luna legal documentation, found immigration lawyers who specialized in unusual cases, and started saving money for the complex process of creating an official identity for someone with no verifiable background. She also began teaching Luna more practical skills for living in human society. Luna learned to drive Maya's car, though she was still confused by traffic laws that seemed illogical to her orderly mind. She practiced speaking English for longer conversations, though her accent would always mark her as foreign to most people. Most importantly, Maya helped Luna develop her own sense of style. Within her preference for pre-worn clothes, they created outfits that honored Luna's need for emotional connection. While looking appropriate for public situations, Luna learned to layer Maya's pieces in new ways, creating looks that were uniquely her own while still carrying the emotional history she needed. As their first year together drew to a close, Maya reflected on how completely her life had changed. The quiet, lonely woman who had lived in this house alone seemed like a different person entirely. Luna had brought magic, wonder, and purpose into Maya's world that she never could have imagined. But more than that, Luna had taught Maya that love could cross any distance, even the space between stars. Their connection had begun in childhood dreams and had grown into something that neither of their species had ever experienced before. Maya no longer worried about whether Luna was truly human, or whether their relationship would be accepted by others. Luna was family now, in the deepest sense of the word. They had chosen each other across impossible odds and had created something beautiful together. Looking at Luna sleeping peacefully on the couch, wearing Maya's most comfortable pajamas, and glowing softly in the moonlight streaming through the window, Maya knew she had found her person. It didn't matter that Luna had come from the stars. or that she experienced the world differently from other humans. What mattered was that they had found each other, and they had built a home together filled with understanding, acceptance, and a love that was literally out of this world.